Dome of Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. Now, you know what I'm saying? Let's talk living legend, right? Debo, whatever we gonna call him. Everybody call him something, right? Or Your Majesty, right? That's what Ryan Garcia should be calling him. Anyway, but we talked about that. That's Devin the Dream Haney, right? Youngest lightweight, undisputed champion in the history of the game. Young man that does most everything right? And we know one damn thing, that he's ready to fight anybody. You know, even though he's supposed to be feather fished, right? So this guy is just in the news. Now, I wasn't going to say nothing about it because I've seen it be in the news. Different things are popping off with Devin Haney, right? And I was going to do something about 2 days ago, and I've just got a lot to do right now, so I couldn't get to it. So I was like, well, I seen somebody talk about exactly what I really wanted to talk about. One of the things. And that's this Ryan Garcia saying something like an A-side against Devin Haney. Now, I checked one of my favorite uploaders, boxing uploaders, and he already went in on it real good, right? Because I thought that was just going to be a big major story. I just didn't get time to go and get on it. But listen, it's absurd, right? And everybody should be outraged in boxing to be talking to a living legend, and you're Ryan Garcia talking about the A-side, right? Ryan Garcia should be the A-side. Devin Haney should understand that he's the A-side. Man, you popular on social media and whatever, good for you. But in the boxing ring, Devin Haney is above you and beyond you, right? Anybody who got some sense. I don't care about what somebody did something doped and you had a good showing doped, right? But other than that, you know, you'll have no right to be talking to this guy other than saying Your Majesty to him, all right? Bow down. You're not. You need to earn the fight. Quiet as kept. I don't think Ryan Garcia should even have the fight. Beating Barrios doesn't, earn him the fight. And let's make sure this is clear. Normally, after losing to Rolly Romero for a title shot, you get back in line. You don't come back after a performance like that, where you obviously didn't have no drugs in you, and then come back and get another title shot. But that's boxing. There's no way he's supposed to be. That's why I don't watch that. I'm like, no, bro, he's not supposed to be in a title fight. And you're just saving Barrios for him so he can get a title shot. And then we're going to call him A-side versus the guy who just beat Brian Norman. It's been undisputed. And the guy that he's cheated, right? And I'm not just talking about dope. Dope, obviously. But to come in that high, that 3 and 4 pounds, that's Keyshawn Davis type stuff. It's ridiculous. The fight is not supposed to happen. That's why DeSanto's like, no, I ain't fighting you. Because you didn't just go through the last week what I went through, and I ain't fighting you. So get up out of here. And you ain't getting no props for beating the guy. I'm drained and you ain't fight. That's what Devin Haney did, right? So Ryan Garcia shouldn't be talking nothing. He's a social media star and whatever. And here's another thing. If you want to fight Devin Haney, get your drug test now. Get your drug testing on. If you're not doing 24/7 drug testing now, then I wouldn't even think about it. Devin Haney's beyond that, right? You don't have to be worried about no stuff like that. I ain't fighting this guy unless it's under my conditions, and it shouldn't be a condition. It should be something we always want. We all want it. Can Ryan Garcia go to a fight not doped and beat Devin Haney? Right? Prove it. Now here's the other thing Ryan Garcia talking about Shakur Stevenson. He'll go down and wait to fight Shakur Stevenson to 140. Let's see that. You couldn't do it with Devin Haney. Now, when it comes to Devin Haney, let's make sure when we're talking Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, this is stuff people forget. Ryan Garcia was Devin Haney's mandatory challenger in the lightweight division. This fight could have happened a long time ago. It was his mandatory. But like Mexicans do from time to time, like, nope, I don't like who the champion is. I'm not fighting him. I'll fight someone else. Whoever it was. He would rather fight Gervonta Davis, whoever it was, just not Devin Haney. So he was his mandatory. He should have took that fight. Now, I know when I say Mexicans do that, Mexicans probably hear me for the first time and be like, what the hell is this brother talking about? If they would say brother, right? Well, Canelo Alvarez was the mandatory for Demetrius Andrade at 154. Jaime Munguia was the mandatory for Demetrius Andrade at 160. And Jaime Munguia was the mandatory for Jamal Charlo at 160. And Virgil Ortiz was the mandatory for Terrence Crawford at 147. Those are the ones that just pop into mind. So you add Ryan Garcia on that, I think I can say Mexicans do that. And I always ask this question, and no one ever answers it, ever. They beat around the bush. Like politicians. You ask them something, and I can't say this on TV. Somebody gonna look at me, right? What black mandatory? A black American, or black, period. But actually, because I think the only one I can think of is Dillian White. But a black American fighter who was the mandatory for somebody, right? And decided, I'm not fighting a champion because he's too hard. Answer that. Just who? Because I can't remember one. That was a mandatory challenge and said, you know what, I'm a mandatory challenger, but this dude, this champion, man, I ain't fighting him. And then then here's the thing. Have you heard anybody say anything bad about Virgil Ortiz because he did that? About Canelo Alvarez because he did that? About Ryan Garcia because he did that? About Jaime Munguia because he did that? They went on to become stars and get bigger fights than the guys they avoided. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens. No outrage whatsoever. So, miss me with all that. You know what I'm saying? So Devin Haney has to hear all this stuff about A-side, which is absolutely asinine, absurd. And boxing, keep it up. You'll be messing around. And that's why Turkeyology is taking over now. Because no matter what you keep doing with all this racist behavior, all of the stuff, it falls down. No more HBO. DAZN is in trouble. DAZN had Canelo for $385 million contract. Canelo don't want to fight Demetrius Andrade, but everybody easy. Yildirim and the likes. And then he throws the contract away, right? And DAZN loses all that money with him and Canelo and Gennady Golovkin, instead of forcing them to fight Demetrius Andrade. And then if they didn't fight him, they should have told the world they're scared of Demetrius Andrade, we're going to invest in him. But they don't. Now you're sitting up here and you have money issues. Instead of just saying, you know what, Demetrius Andrade is the hero here, right? They don't want to fight him. So, and you put it out there. Instead of after Demetrius Andrade's fights, calling across the street Jamal Charlo out. Like that's the fight everybody wants to see. No, you had all of them signed. They were all signed at DAZN. Demetrius Andrade, Canelo Alvarez, Gennady Golovkin, and Jaime Munguia. And after Demetrius Andrade's fights, they didn't mention his mandatory in Jaime Munguia, or the unification undisputed fight with Canelo Alvarez, or the high-profile fight against the middleweight that everybody's supposed to be scared of, Gennady Golovkin, which Demetrius Andrade offered to fight him in the orthodox stance. That's what DAZN did. So you're supposed to be losing money, right? Instead of, all you have to do is say, hey, this black dude right here, he's the bomb. Anybody want to fight him? We'll pay him. But they won't. But Turkey will. Turkey ain't got no problem with black stars like they're supposed to be. Right? Y'all sitting around here worrying about BTBG, and y'all know what that is. So Devin Haney has to go this Ryan Garcia stuff, which was ridiculous. Then the next thing, the WBA champion, Rolly Romero, who should have been trying to fight him a long time ago, they're going back and forth, but what happens is not the fighting, right? I don't think Rolly wants none of this, and he should just go ahead, but because losing to Devin Haney ain't nothing. It's a springboard to you, going on to bigger and better things, probably. Not bigger and better, but to some other things at least. Yeah, you can lose to worse people than Devin Haney. You already have Rolly. So Rolly talking just ridiculous stuff like, oh, he'll sue me if I knock him out, right? Insinuate that he'll sue everybody. Like instead of saying, hey, I don't want to fight dope people either. But they just do this stuff because at the end of the day, it's the coolest thing in New Russia is to just try to bash the black guy. That's another form of BTBG. Beat him and then or bash him, right? It's BTBG all over the damn place, right? So that's how that works. And so so he's not trying to get that fight with the WBA, right? And all these other dudes are not trying to make the fight happen, right? So we can unify the welterweight division. Now let me make sure this is clear, right? It's keep away, right? It's keep away. They did it with Terrence Crawford when it comes to Manny Pacquiao. Documented, just straight up, just said it. We ain't letting Manny Pacquiao fight this dude, man. Y'all crazy? We ain't letting that happen, right? And you know, and everybody in Manny Pacquiao's team, Freddie Roach, you know, Bob Arum, just straight up said, we're not letting that happen. Y'all better come with something else. We're not letting him fight him. That would have been a passing of the torch moment. Manny Pacquiao would have got his ass whooped like he did from Jeff Horn. Terrence Crawford had to beat Jeff Horn, beat the hell out of Jeff Horn. Manny Pacquiao would tooth and nail with the guy, lost to him, right? And then for people keep saying, well, no, Manny didn't lose to him. No, here's the deal. When Manny loses, it's always some kind of outrage. So what they did, they went back and watched it again and judged it again. Officials judged it again and gave it to Jeff Horn again. People try to leave that out. That's what happened because it was outrage. Teddy Atlas running around here acting like Manny Pacquiao got cheated. Then when Manny Pacquiao fighting Jeff Horn, round 9, he has Jeff Horn in some trouble, right? And they wanted to give him a 10-8 round because he had him in trouble. Since when? Trouble don't mean 10-8. Hitting the canvas means 10-8. So give Jeff Horn props for being in trouble and not hitting the canvas. No, they want to give him a 10-8 round. No, that's not how it works. You got a 10-9 round, too bad you didn't knock him down, right? So that's what went down there. And then Terrence Crawford moving up from 140, right, to fight Jeff Horn, big middleweight ass Jeff Horn, and beats the living daylights out of him. That's why. Freddie Roach told you, man, this dude is Terrence Crawford with a whole lot of power and aggression. We ain't messing with him. And a younger version, we're not messing with him. They just made it very clear, right? Wasn't no secret. Wasn't no secret. So we didn't do that. We're gonna keep him, or keep the title away from him, keep that all away from this guy, from Terrence Crawford. Demetrius Andrade, we're gonna keep Canelo Alvarez away from him. We mess around, let Canelo Alvarez fight Demetrius Andrade for undisputed. Then we got this brother as the undisputed middleweight champion. And then we ain't got no more issues. Then we get, what we gonna do then? Because he's gonna fight nothing but mandatories, like Deontay Wilder would have if he would have became undisputed. Just okay, I'm undisputed. We don't have no more problems with nothing. I fight only mandatories from here on out. Isn't that cool? Isn't that how it could be in boxing? Somebody else is moving their way up to mandatory position, and the champion, undisputed, is only fighting mandatories, nothing else. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Right? That's what some of these people would do. So Devin Haney right now, let's keep away from this dude. Because if we mess around and do that, he's going to be undisputed in a different division. And we can't have that. We can't have that. So let's just keep it away. All these Lewis Crockers and all that, whoever the champions are. I think Crocker's the IBF. WBA is your boy, Rolly Romero. WBC, of course, is Ryan. And then your boy, Devin Haney has the other one, right? So, it is what it is, man. So anyway, Devin Haney, his name, if it's Debo, if it's Living Legend, or if what Ryan Garcia should be calling him, Your Majesty. He's the baddest one running around out here, and y'all got to recognize. That's what's up. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide, and I'm about to here, y'all.